Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 2 of the website authoring teaching series. A student said to me, Mr. Ajiro, one of the things I love about Ajiro Tech is not the fact that we solve a past paper. I said, really? So, what is it? It's the fact that you teach. And when I go to your YouTube channel every day and then I listen, I learn. There's always something new in ICT. So, when it comes to ICT, I don't bother. I just go to Ajiro Tech and I have all my problem sorted out. And for me, that was a good testimony. And so if you're new here, please hit on the subscribe button because trust me, you're going to be learning a lot from me. Okay, so in episode 1, we looked at introduction to website authoring. We look at the web development layer. This fun stuff we did there in episode 1. This is episode 2. So if you just new here, you probably need to watch episode 1 before coming to the episode 2. Okay, so task 2, open the file, right? Task 2, HTML, and view this web page in both the text editor and the browser. So what I would do here is I'm going to close this and open this in task 2, and I'm going to right click, and I've explained all this in episode 1. Open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay, so I have this. It's loading. Okay, good. Now let's look at this. It said to view this web page in both the text editor and the browser. Now this now is my text editor because this is the code view, and I'm going to preview this in the browser. So I can do it here to preview it. Come here, click on Microsoft Edge, or I'll go to File, Preview in Browser, Microsoft Edge, so I can preview this. All right. Improve this web page by setting the 3 in X3. Now take note of this. This right here is what we call a superscript. Now superscript, and setting the 2, okay, in H2 as subscript. Now your superscript is seen as, in mathematics we see it as what? Power. While your subscript is seen as what? In mathematics seen as what? The base. This just probably to just give you an understanding of what we are saying. So for us to be able to do this, it uses the hashtag called, for superscript, we have the angle bracket called sub. This sub means superscript, okay? And the closing HTML tag of this, again, don't forget this is the forward slash. And then for the subscript, it has the sub, okay? And then with the closing tag, okay, with the closing tag of this as well, sub, okay, with the closing tag of that. So let's do that. So I'm going to come here to my code. Now where I have the 3, let's look for it. Where's the 3? So right here, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do this. So sub. Now it's going to be in the closing tag. So I'm just going to cut this, come here, and then paste it here. Now for this other one, I'm going to do that here, the sub. Okay. It's going to be the closing tag, and I'm going to do this, cut this, and I'm going to paste this. Right. So I'll come here and I'll click on save. Now, since I've already previewed it in the browser, I don't have to preview it again. All I have to do here is come here and refresh, and then you see the difference right here. How awesome is that? So this is very, very cool. Okay. Now, what's the next thing? They said replace Ajiro Tech with your name. Okay, so I will go to the code, replace Ajiro Tech with your name. So I'm just going to replace this with my name. That means your full name. So I'm going to do that here. Okay. Again, the link to this source file is on the video description of this particular video. So you see it there. Okay. So I'm going to save and I'm going to refresh. So I have this here. Okay. Okay. So we now have something like this. Okay. So probably this has been modified and this is quite different. Now, a little bit of explanation of the code. So here is the body section, and this is the paragraph HTML tag. This is the heading 2, the second heading of it. These are the paragraph tabs, and it's then inside the body section, which is your content layer. Okay, so just to explain this, now place appropriate content in the body section. Now, there are different ways of placing appropriate content in the body section of a web page. Again, this is the completed when the structure of the web page has been created, and we use different methods along the course. Now, we've talked about the superscript, and that was exactly what we did. We did the sub around the 3, and we did the sub around the 3, and sub around the 2. Now, you would notice that it would change, and this is the code for it. Now, from time to time, you'll be required to print different views of your web page. You must ensure that your name is included on the web page before it is sent to the printer. This is very, very important. Okay, so if you're using software like Whistleblower, what you see is what you get package like your Adobe Dreamweaver or your Microsoft Expression. You will need to open the web page in a text editor to be able to print the HTML. So that simply means that you need to open it in the code view for you to be able to print your HTML codes. Okay, and right here is where you can actually print your web page. So it's always advisable to use the code view. Don't use this as your design view, as your browser view. It's not always advisable to use this. Okay, but you can use this for the code. The simplicity of this is because of the Whistleblower. What you see is what you get. So it's essentially, it helps you to be able to complete some things. Okay, so it probably kind of like not you writing all the code, because it probably gives you a hint on what you're writing. Okay, so this is very, very important. If you're printing from a web browser, and probably this is very, very important, make sure that your name, candidate number are fully visible on the printout. Okay, if you're using a Whistleblower package, make sure that you test the web page in a browser, not just within the package. And that's what I talked about. Okay, some product will display what appears to be the browser view, but it's only a development tool. Okay, and does not necessarily will display the page at the same. Make sure that there is a clear evidence that this browser and URL is visible, or the file name and path are visible instead of the URL. So that simply means that if you're printing everything here, you have to ensure that this also is included, and the tab, the browser toolbar is also included in your printout. This is very important. Okay, all right. Then the next thing is, of course, use screenshot of your pages taken using keyboard. That simply means what we'll be using is the snipping tool. So we're going to be using the snipping tool to take screenshots. So this is very important. Okay. All right. Okay. To copy and then paste that into that. So that is very important. Task 3. Okay. Open the file, task 3, and view this web page in both the text and browser. So let me do that. So I'm going to open task 3 here, right click, open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. So this is task 3. So what else? I said, now let's preview it. So I'll just come here and then preview it in Microsoft Edge. Now it says, in both the text editor and the browser, replace the text Ajiro Tech with your name. So let me do that here, with your name. Replace Ajiro Tech with your name. Okay, so I have this. All right. Now the next thing is what? Set the 2 in 10 meters. Okay, in 10 meters 2, and the 3 in 500 centimeters 3 as superscript. So let's do that as superscript. So I'm going to look for it here. Okay, so it's right here. So I'll do this here. So this is going to be sub. Then the closing tag, I'm going to cut it and then put it around this. Okay, and then right here as well, I'm going to do the sub. It's going to give me a closing tag. I'm going to cut it and I'll put it around the 3. So I'm going to save my work. Now what's the next thing? They said, and set 2 in CO2 as subscript. So let's do that, CO2 as subscript. Look for CO2. Okay, CO2 is right here. Okay, so I have this sub, and then I'm going to close this. Okay, so I'm going to save this as well. Set the text, enhancing text, into style H1. Now this simply means I want it to be the first heading, enhancing text. So this right here is in the fourth heading. If you look at it here, you see that this is the fourth heading. So we want to make it the first heading. So to do that, I'll come here and I'm going to hit on 1 and then remove the other 4 and then make it 1. Okay, so what else? Print your web page as HTML as is viewed in the browser. So I'll come here and I'm going to save my work. Now come here. Since I've already previewed already, I'm going to what? I'm going to refresh. So this is what we're going to have at the end of the day. So we have this the superscript here, and then we have the subscript here, and we have the first heading here. Okay, hope that makes sense. Now the reason for using table to structure element within a web page. What's the reason? Tables can be used to create the basic structure of many web pages. So that's what we're using, table. They can be used to organize the page layout. We talked about the content layer, and we said in the content layer we have the page structure. A good example is your table, and they're often used in web pages even though their borders may not be visible. Right? In most recent version of HTML, talking about HTML5, tables have been replaced by semantic element and more complex structure, including the CSS structure to lay out full page. But at this level, we're going to use simple tables to just create our structures. Okay, so now we have insert a table. If you need to create a table within a web page, it is always worth planning it on paper before starting to create the markup. So what are the basic table structures? Let's look at the basic table structures. So again, for the table basic structures, we have what we call the table tag, the table HTML tag. So that means we have the angle bracket surrounded by what? Table. And we have the closing tag right here. Okay, so this is very important, and we start by adding these tags in the body section. So this falls under the body sections. Okay, now if you're using a WYSIWYG, what you get is quite easy, because you can just go to insert tables, numbers of rows, numbers of columns, and it's going to generate the code for you. But in this course, I want to teach you how to write the code. Everything between this tag will be included in the table except for the caption. So the caption, essentially, for caption, which has this, for caption, they give you the title of the table. Okay, so the title of the table, and it has a closing command as well. This is very important. Now we have other things that falls within the table. The other thing that falls within the table, and this is quite let's probably paint a picture here, so that will probably give us an understanding here. Let's paint a picture, and I'll probably just use an empty to write on it. So to write on it, okay, so I have a whiteboard here, so I'll probably just use this to just explain the whole process. So now I have a table here. Fair warning, I am not a very good artist. Okay, so bear with me with my table. It might look surprisingly beautiful. Okay, all right, so this is the table right here, and this is not bad. My goodness me, this is good. I probably need to be an art and an art design teacher or something. This is good. Okay, so how many columns and row do you see here? This is 1, 2, 3. So the columns here, these are the columns, right? This right here are the rows. So we have the rows here and we have the column, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 rows, and then we have what? 3 columns. That's what we have. So what are the key things we need to take? So this is basic knowledge. So here, what makes a cell? A cell is an intersection between the columns and row, and then we have what? A cell. But before the cell, we have a row. So we said we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this row is seen as what? Table row, which is seen as what? TR, table row. Now the content of here is what we call the data. The datas are right here. The datas are right here. So here we see this as what? Our table data. We see this as what? Our table what? Data, which is what? TD. So now let's rephrase this. So now we see that we have what? 4 TL, right? And the 4 TL, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for each of the TL, now for this, for example, we have here, let's talk about this, for example, right? So here we're having what? 1 TL and then 3 what? TD. So this is very, very important. Okay, this is very, very important. So if we are to write the code for this, if we are to write the code for this will probably be in the body section. This will be table, right? We have the TR, right? Then we have the TD, right? And we have the NBSP semicolon, which is for space. And then we have the closing TD. We have another TD here, right? The and NBSP semicolon, and then the closing TD. Then this is for the first one. The second one, the third one, we have TD, the and NBSP semicolon, and then we have the closing what? TD. And then we can now close the table row for this. So this is it. Table row for this. TR. So this right here is the code for this that we have drawn. And then you can duplicate this for this before you can close what? The table. Hope that makes sense. Okay. So this is very important. I'll probably do this so I can just send this somewhere here. Okay. So hope that is understood. Okay. So essentially, the table you need to create has 3 table rows. Okay. And the tag for this is TR. Okay. And each row will contain 2 cells of table data, and the tag for the table data is TD. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. So essentially, the for the table they contain 2 cells of table data, and we have this. So the table data are between the TR, which is what the table rows. Okay, so this is very important. Now each table row has 2 pieces of table data. Okay, so a table cell can contain text, can also contain text, can contain images, can contain what? Other tables, even contain lists, paragraphs, and what? Forms, even horizontal what? Rules, and so on. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so we have probably a table like this. Now if we're going to create a table like this, I'll probably just give you an idea of what to do. So here you see that here is what? A caption. Here has what? A caption here. There's a caption here. Okay, for colors. And then you close the caption. Okay, and then you have your table, and then you have your TR, right, which is a row. Then you have your TD, which is red. Close the TD. You have another TD again, which is 36%, and then you close the TD. And now this gives you an idea on how to write this code. So this is very important. Hope we're learning. This is very important. Hope we're learning. Please let me know in the comment section if you are learning, because again, for Ajiro Tech, you have to learn. And this is why Ajiro Tech is the best IGCSE ICT YouTube channel you will ever find in the world. Okay? All right. Table borders. Now, how do we make our borders visible? When we create our tables, okay, when we create our tables, one of the things we have is that when we create them, we don't see the borders. And that simply means that at default, your borders are not made what? Visible. Now, the word border is an attribute, right? And it simply means that you have to show, right, the table grid lines. So if we're going to show the table grid line, we have to add what? The border attributes. And we use a value of what? 1. When we use speech marks, like this, it simply means that we don't want the border to be what? Visible. Okay, so an attribute is something that is added to one of the markup commands to give further information. That's what it is. That's what an attribute means. So an attribute is something that is added to one of the markup command to give further information. So the table tag is just the HTML. Then we have attributes to give further information or instruction to the browser. Okay, yeah, this is a table, but do other things on this table. And again, please let's take note. Attributes should be in lowercase. Okay, and should always the values should be enclosed with quote. Okay, the values should be enclosed with quote. So this is very important. So if you come back here, to our whiteboard. Let's bring down what we did here. So if we were to bring this, here is going to be, so let's clean this. So this will mean what? Border equals to double speech mark 1. This right here is going to mean that the table is going to be what? This simply means that the border right here is going to be what? Visible. That's what it means. The border is going to be visible. Are we learning? Okay. All right. Header and footers in tables. Tables have 3 sections. Now, a table has the header. It's important you know this. A table has the header, has a body, and has a footer. These are defined within. The table header is called this. The, the table body is called this, and the table foot is called what? This. So this is very important. Okay. And they are enclosed with the T head, the T body, and of course the T foot. Notice that all this begins with T, and that T means for table, right? So T head means table header, T body means table body, T foot means table footer. Okay. So in HTML, you must define the table header, footer, and then body in that order. So it goes from this, it goes from the header, it goes from the footer, then it goes to the body. This is the order in which it needs to follow. Please don't make that mistake. This is the order that it needs to follow. Header first, footer, and then body when you're writing your codes. So this is very important. Okay. So if all the 3 sections are to be included, you can add the table data sections to the footer and body of the table using TD. But when it comes to table header, we do not use these tags in table header. In the table header, it creates heading cells to show that this is what? A heading. They are bold and they are centered aligned. So what we use is TH. What are we saying here? We're simply saying that for this, follow me on this, for both of them, they have what? TD, right? Why for header, it has what? TH, because it's going to be what? Bold. It's going to be bold. It's going to be bold. And it's going to be what? Center. Okay. Take note of the spelling of center. We are using the American spelling, not the British for coding. Please take note. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. So this will set the column headings in heading styles. Okay. So let's do that. Let's put to practice. Task 4. Create a web page with a table that looks like this and has the caption Hours of Sunshine last week. So let's do that. So I'm going to come here, task 4, right click, open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. I'm going to do that. So here we have a blank template with the idoc type. I've explained this in episode 1. This means document type HTML. HTML. This is the head section. We have a title here. We have the body and it's close and HTML. Now, if I preview this in our browser, this is what we have. Apart from the browser toolbar that has Ajiro Tech Task 4, is blank. Okay, so how do we do this? Now look at this. Now I'm going to save this. This says create a web page with a table that looks like this and has the caption Hours of Sunshine last week. So what I will do here is I'm going to highlight this to make at least our work easy for us. And I'll begin this with what? Under the body section, I'm going to start with what? Caption. Okay, I'm going to start with caption. Now it's going to give me a closing tag and I'm going to paste this Hours of Sunshine. Okay, so essentially I'm going to come here and I'll do this space out, and week is probably overwriting, so that's fine. For some reason it's probably overwriting, so I would probably have to type this again. Sometimes close this. Okay, probably I'll just take this close, right? Okay, so I have this, right? So hours of sunshine, I'll probably give a space. Now let me save this. Now it shouldn't do this. Let me create a space and paste this again. Hours of sunshine. Um, you know what? Let me just close it and open it again since I've saved it. Open with PowerPoint. Open with Microsoft Expression Web. So I think this should be better now. Okay, better. Right? So you just probably have to close and open it again. Sometimes it does it, right? Okay, so that's why you have to be very vigilant. So we have this caption, and then I have a table. The next thing is what? Table. Now under the table here, I'm going to close this, hit on enter, and then what do we have here? Now the first one is what? Make sure the top of the table is in the header section and the bottom row is in the footer section. So let's do that. Header section. So this is going to be, I'll hit on my tab, and it's going to be what? T head, right? So hit on enter, and right here, I'm going to create T arrow for the table row, hit on enter. Now look at this. This is what? For the row. Okay, this is for the row, right? So now let's put our content here. So this is going to be what? TH. TH. Now let me probably do this. Put this on both sides. I can close this for now. Bring that particular tax here. No, bring it here. This is what we are doing. So I can just see everything side by side. Okay. So here I have TH. So what's there in TH? Day. Okay. So I'll probably hit on enter. TH. I have what? Hours. Okay. So now I have the TH. The next one is what? The T head, T foot. So I have the T foot. Hit on enter, hit on enter. And now I'll come here, TR, table row, hit on enter. Okay. So here we're having what? TD. Remember I told you that for when it comes to, let's go back here. When it comes to the header is TH, because again, this is going to be what? Bold, and it is going to have a heading formatting. The heading style is going to be applied here. But for footer and body is going to be what? TD. Okay. So here, let's go back to the fun fact. Yes, hope you're having fun. So here we're having TH, and then we come here, and then we have TD, which for a table data. So now what are we having here for the footer? We're having weekly total, and right here we're having what? We're having 40. So now that we're done with this, the next thing is what? T body. T body. So hit on enter. So come here to TR. So we'll start the first one. Hit on enter. So we're not starting this for this. This is what we're starting. So what I will do here is probably do a lot of, so TD. I'm having Monday. Come again, TD. I'm having what? 6. Okay, so this for the first row. So I can just copy this. I'm just copying this, right? Hit on enter, paste it, right? And I will change this to what? Tuesday, because of time. Can't be writing all the codings. 4.5. Okay, let's see. This is a TL, just to be sure that no, I did the wrong one. I was wondering what's happening. I did the wrong one. Okay, so here is Tuesday. That's why you have to be vigilant. 4.5. Paste it again. Come here. This is going to be Wednesday. And this is going to be what? 8. Right? Now come here. Hit on enter. And I'm going to paste this here. This is going to be Thursday. And this is going to be what? 7. Okay, come here, hit on enter. This is going to be Friday. This is going to be what? 3.6. 3 point what? 5. Come here again, hit on enter. It's going to be Saturday. Saturday. This is going to be what? 5. Come here. This is going to be Sunday. And yes, we're done. Sorry. Took this time. Sorry about that. And this is going Sunday is going to be 6 as well for Sunday. So we're going to save this work. Now don't forget we're done with this. This for the T body. Now we can probably hit on this. Okay, so that's done. So now I'm going to save this. Now we're going to preview this in our browser. So file Microsoft Edge. So this is what we have at the end of the day. This is what we have at the end of the day. So this is what we have. All this. Now, one of the issues we are having here is the fact that there is no border, right? There is a border, but it is not visible. So how do we make it visible? Now, they said for to look like this. So for us to make it visible, we'll come here to the head section and then we click space border, the attribute here, and we're going to give it 1. Now when we save this and we come here, let me close other ones. Okay, when I refresh this, you probably see this. Now if I remove the 1 and just leave it like this and save, is going to be what? Okay, border, save this, refresh. Now for some reason it's still showing, right? But obviously it's not supposed to show. Let me just probably do this. Save and then okay, so far let me preview this. Okay, I think let me remove this altogether and then save and then refresh. Okay, so probably it's taken out, right? Because you see it's probably still seeing it. So if I do this border, it's probably showing it's seeing the border, so it's probably adding the border as well. But again, essentially for some other browsers it's probably not going to see it, so you probably need to know the difference between it. So I'm going to click there and I'm going to what refresh and then it's going to show. All right, so let's do this. Use embedded CSS in HTML. Now, when the styles can be applied to tables and other elements by placing CSS instructions in a style attribute, okay, within the HTML tag. This is called embedded CSS. So we have embedded CSS, which is your inline CSS. Okay, we have the internal CSS, and then we have what? The attached CSS, or what you call your external CSS. Are you with me? Right? So essentially, this is what we do. So we can add them. In this case, we can add those CSS instructions in the style attribute within the HTML tag. Now, set the tables and cell size in terms of pixels. This is very, very important. Now, to avoid table expanding within the data, setting a fixed or browser related width for tables, okay, rows and column using the embedded style attribute in the table or your TR or what your TD, which is your table data what tag. Now let's look at this. To prevent table from resizing ourselves, so we said this with a style attributes to control what their width. With a style attribute to control what their width. Okay, so please let's take note of this. We use pixels. PX means for pixels. PX means for pixels, and do not put a space between the digits and the pixels. For example, when you have something like 20px, there should be no space. The syntax for CSS element is what? The property name, colon, and the value to be applied. So for example, you probably have, okay, you've given an example here. So you have your name and then colon, you have the value. Okay, so that simply means that you have, for example, width, dot 100 what. If more than one property is to be applied, these are separated with semicolon. For example, we can have name one, colon value, then semicolon, name two, space, name two, semicolon, and it goes on and on. Okay, now they said question one. Set the table to be 400 pixels wide and each row to be 50 pixels high. Set the left column to be 280 pixels wide. So this right here was set into 2 pixels wide. So let's see how we can do that. So let me do this. I'll probably close this. So let's open question one. Question one. Right click on question one, open with expression web 4. So we have this. So let's preview in the browser to give us an idea of what we are doing. So this is it, what we have here. Okay. So this is it. So again, if you look at this, you see that it has a caption already. Now this caption is shown here, right? And it's up here. So essentially, for caption, it can be outside of it. You know, I said something about the caption, that again, captions are the ones that outside of the table. Everything else is between the table except for the caption. But some cases again, it can also be inside. It's still not bad, right? So that's why I said this is to be added. Everything else will be included in the table except for the caption. This is added using the caption tag. So essentially, we can also put it in the table, right? And it will still be fine. It will still give us what we want to do. So this is what I'm talking about here. So right here, we can put the caption here, hit on enter, and then paste it here. Save your work. Control S to save, or you come here to save. And if you come here, refresh. Now this is, can you see that? This is taking it to the left, right? Because it's outside of it. But if I take it inside and save it, it's seeing it as the title inside the table. Now, most time we need this, especially when we want to make the table to be in center the line, so that when we're having a caption, everything will just move together. But if it's outside of it and we are making the table to be center the line, the caption will be left alone. So most time you can also put the caption, depending on what the question is saying, you can also put that. But I would prefer you put the caption inside the table, because we already know that caption is to give the title of the table. Are we together? That caption is to give the title of the table. So please, this is very important. Yes, I said that it can be outside. Everything falls inside the table except the caption. But again, to have your work all fitted within the table, when you're applying everything to the table, you can also do that as well. Putting the caption inside the table. And that's what we're having in this class. Okay. So set the table to be 400 pixels wide. Now to do that, using embedded CSS, we are coming here to have styles. Right here, styles equals to width, colon, how many 400 pixels? Okay, 400 pixels wide. So this is it. So this is the embedded style. It begins with styles equals to double speech mark width 400 pixels. I'm going to save this and I'll come into my browser, and then this is what we're going to have. The next one is each row to be 500 pixels high. Each row. So to do that, I'm going to do that in the row. So I'll come here to style, and I have width 50 pixels, right? Is it 50 pixels? Yeah, 50 pixels high. Okay, so I'm going to, let me see, 50 pixels high. That's the height. Sorry, 50 pixels high. So that's height. 50 pixels. I'll come here and I'm going to refresh. So we have this. Can you see that? 50 pixels, what? The height of it. So that's what it means by high. So this is wide, which is the width. The high here, please let's take note of this keywords. So I want you to learn something today. So here, this means what? The width. And this here means what? The height. set the left colon. They said, let me see, they said, and each row to be 50 pixels high. Each row, please. Each row. So I'll come here. So that's the first row. Come here to the second row. Styles equals to height. So I have the height here. 50 pixels. That's the value, 50 pixels. But we have the name and we have the values, 50 pixels. And I can just come here to copy this. Right? Come here. Paste it here. Come here. Paste it here. Come here as well. Paste it here. Come here as well. Paste it here. Come here as well. Paste it here. And that's all. Okay. So I'm going to save this. Now let's go back to this and let's refresh. So this is what we have at the end of the day for each row. Okay. So now they said left column. They said set the left column, this left column here, to be what? Left column to be what? 280 pixels wide. Only the left column, which is column 1. So that means that you're only doing that for the first TD. The first column here. So that's style, width, 280 pixels. Okay, wide, style is here. Okay, so I'm going to save this, save it here, come here, and I'm going to refresh. So now this would automatically affect everything here. Why? Because we have done that for the first column. We've done that for the head. It will automatically affect everything here. Yes, for the first column, it's always important for us to probably do something like this. Copy for code purposes. Come here for the TD, and you probably have this 280. If you save this and you come here, you probably not see a difference here, because once the first one is affected, every other thing here is also affected. Okay, everything here is also what? Affected. But I'm just going to do it here for code purposes, right? So just the first one. That discipline means that only this one, the TH here, TD, 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 and even your footer here, TD. Okay, the first one, the first TD. Come into your first TD. So you have this, your first TD, you have this, your first TD, you have this. Come at your first TD, you have this. So let's check the first TD, first TD, first TD, first TD, first TD, first TD, and then the first TH. So I'm going to save, and if I come here, it's still going to be the same thing, literally, but we'll just put in the code for it. So that's how we get this. Okay. Question 2. Set the table to fit 80% of the browser window. Now, when you hear about 80%, now the full browser window here is 100%. Please take note. The full browser window, a browser window, let me write this here. A browser window is what? 100%. A full browser window. So if we're going to make it 80%, it simply means that it's going to be somewhere here. Now, the difference about making a percentage, giving percent, is that even when we do this, it will still adjust to that, right? It will still adjust to that. Even when we do something like this and we're adjusting, it will still be the same thing. Okay? It will still be what? The same thing. Okay. So let's look at question 2. Please let me know in the comment section if you're learning, if you're having fun in this episode 2. Okay? Because I want you to have fun. Okay, so this is question 2. So let's see how we're going to do it. They said what? Set the table to fit 80% of the browser window. So let's do that. So right here, 80% of the browser window. What I'm going to do here is right here on the table, style equals to with 80 what percent. So I'm going to save this. So this is going to be the style, the width of it. Now let's preview this. I'll come here to preview it on my edge. Now look at it. Now if I do this, you see that it's still 80%. Even if I adjust this, it's still 80% because this is 80% of it. Are we together? Of it. All right. And the left column to be 75 of the width of the table. So here, the left column here is going to be what? 75 of the width of what? The table. The left column. So I'll come here to my code. So right here, the left column, which is the first one. So I'm going to add style width 75 what? Percent. And I'm going to save this. Ctrl S to save. And then come here and I'll refresh. So this is what you're going to have. Now, for the table itself, it's 100%. Please take note. The browser window is 100%. The table itself is 100%. So out of this 100%, we're taking 75% of it. So here is 25%. I will learn it. So here is 25%. Okay. Set the top row to be the top row, which is this, to be 60 pixels high, and the bottom row to be 40 pixels high. So let's do that. The top row, so right here, so the top row, so which is this, I'm just going to go with this style equals to height is going to be what? 60%, 60 pixels, 60 pixels. Okay, save this. Look at it. We want this to be what? To be high, 60 pixels. The what? The top row, which is this. So if I come here to my browser and I refresh, so this is it here. I will let in. And then they said what? The bottom row to be 40 pixels high. So let's do that. Bottom row, which is the footer. So right here, so style, height, okay, 40 pixels. So I'll save this. Now if I come here and I refresh, so this is it. This is 40 pixels. Are we seeing that? Align the table in the centered align the table in the center of the browser window. Now, for us to be able to align the table to be center of the browser window, now this simply means that we're simply saying that both the left and right is going to be what? Auto. The left and right is going to be what? Auto. So this is going to be the margin left auto and then margin right auto. This simply means that when we make it the margin left auto and the margin right auto is going to be what? Centralized. But when we make it the margin left auto is going to be what? In the margin right. When we make it margin right auto is going to be what? In the left margin. Okay, so this is very important. So let's do that. They said align the table in the center of the browser what? Window. So here we're going to have, because it's more than one, right? Semicolon, right? Then we have margin left, auto, okay? Semicolon, margin right, auto, okay? So if I save this and I come to my browser right here and preview it, this is what I will have. Now, the reason why I said the caption should be inside is because now that we are making the table to be center aligned, the caption also is going to be center aligned. But if the caption is outside the table, right, it simply means that we have to do for the caption separately. So that's why it's always recommended for it to be inside the table. Okay. All right. Now they said what? Set the name of the fruit to be what? Centered aligned. Set the names of the fruit to be centered aligned, and the prices and the prices in the right column to be right aligned. Okay, so let's do that. So this simply means that what we are doing here is that for the fruit is going to be centered aligned, and for the price it will be right aligned. So let's do that quickly. Okay, so here they said the names. So we're not talking about the heading. The heading stays the same, right? So again, names of the fruit. So it's going to be a lot work on us, but then again, we can make it faster. So come here to the fruit. So here is going to be what? Text align. Now for you to be able to make it to be center, this is a text. So we're going to align it. How we align it? Is it going to be left? Is it going to be right? Is it going to be center? Now take note of the word center. The word center we're using, like I said, we're using the American spelling. The American spelling of what? Center. So which is going to be what? Center, right? This and not this for HTML. Please take note of that. Okay, so this is very important. So now we have this. So text align is going to be what? Center. Okay, so it's probably not working. That's because we didn't add our styles. So styles equals to what? Bring this in here. Text align is going to be what? Center, right? So please take note of that. So inline style, text align, center. I'm going to save this. Now, if I come here to the code and I refresh, look at it. So it's giving us this. So now we're going to come here. We're going to come here, and what we're doing here is I'll do one more and then we will be good to go. So here we have text align. You see that text align here. Click on it and it's going to be what? Center. Now this is the bit about the Wisigwe, right? What is what you get? It gives you other options like center, justified, left, right. So I'm going to click on what? The center, and I'm going to what? Highlight it. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. Okay. So I'll come here again and I'll paste this, right? Come here again and I'm going to paste it, right? Come here again and I'm going to paste it, right? So I'm going to save this. So come here again. Let's look at it. Let's refresh. So all of them is what? Center. So essentially, they said set the name of the fruit to be what? Center the line. And the prices in the right column to be what? Right align. Okay. The prices. Where is the prices? So we have the prices here. So the prices here is going to be what? Right align. So I'm going to do style equals to text align. So text align here dash text align, okay, is going to be what? Right. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. It's going to be style, okay, equals to what? Text align, okay, is going to be what? Right. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to copy this and I'll come here. Let's look at what we have done so far. You can see that this is right. So I'll come here. Okay, I've not saved this one. So I've not saved that one, the other is not showing. I'll come here, space, paste this, come here, space this, and then come here and then paste it. And I'm going to save this as well. Right? So I'm going to refresh this. So now we have this in right align. Okay, so this is very important. So we have this one in right align. Okay, so now let's look at it. What's the next thing? I said align to be the table, set the names of the food to be set aligned, and the prices. So we're going to include the total as well. We're going to include the total as well so that everything aligns together. So I'll come here. So where is right here on the T foot? So I'll come here for the T foot. So this is going to be style, text align, center. Okay. Come here again, style, text align is going to be right. So I'm going to save this, and I'll come here, and then I'm going to refresh. So that is done. Okay, so hope this was very helpful. Now let's look at the next one. Apparently this is the last one we'll do for this particular episode. Set the table and the cell sizes in terms of percentage value. We've talked about how we can set it. We can set them in terms of pixels. I would say we use px and there's no space between them. And now we're looking at how we can set it in in percentage, right? So set a style attribute for the table tag, right, with the width properties and values of 80%. Okay, we've done that. And we use a similar 75% properties for the style attribute in any table data, okay, or the table header styles tag in the left column. This is no news. We've done this. Apply styles to table. Now it's something we want to explore now. They said, center the line a table to a window. To center a line table within a window, two more style properties must be used. We're just explaining what we did here. Must be used in the table tag. And that simply means that these are to be set to the margin to the left to automatic. That's what the auto means. The auto means what? Automatic. Auto means what? Automatic. Okay, and the margin to the right, automatic. In CSS, we've talked about that if more than one property is used, right, the semicolon is used between one properties and the value. So we have the properties, we have the value, right, and that simply means we have a semicolon to separate them. And we set the row height of the table header to 60 pixels and the bottom row to 40 pixels. How do? We use the inline, the embedded CSS for this, okay, and for the footer for this. Then horizontally aligned text. That simply means that we use the text align. This is what we use, the text align, to actually do that. And we talked about that you have to note the spelling of center. What we use is the American spelling of center, and not the British spelling of center. So to align the text in the right column, we use the text align right. So this is just an explanation of what we did. Okay, task 5. Create a web page with a table that looks like this and has the caption Ajiro Tech Visitors 2024. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Okay, I think I can close this task. So I have task 5. Yes, task 5. Task 5. Right click, open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay, so this is just a blank one. So how do we do this? Let me close this, and then close this. So the first thing I will do here is, I've explained all this. This is document type HTML, document declaration that is written in HTML. This is HTML tag, head section, the title is here, and this is the body section. So I'm going to preview this in the Microsoft Edge. So now we have this. So what I will do is I'm going to split them. Okay, so I have this. Okay, so I'm going to move this here. Okay, so they said create this. So let's do that. So I have my table. Hit on enter. I have my caption. So the caption is what? Ajiro Tech Visitors 2024. Okay, so what do we notice here? This is what the table head. So I have T head. Hit on enter, and then I have the TR table row for this. So the table row for this. Hit on enter. Come here to TH. Okay, which is country. Okay, and then right here I have TH. I have visitors for this. So now this is looking good. Now we'll move on to T foot. which is for what? Total visitors. So T foot. So I'll hit on enter. So I'll come here. I have what? T arrow. I will have explained the sequel. So again, it's table heading, then the table footer, and then this is the body. So here we're now having TD, table data. So we have total visitors. Please type it exactly the way it is. And that simply means you have to learn how to type fast. Yes, you have to learn how to type fast. And then we have what? 3,000. Okay, so now the next thing is what? T body. Hit on enter. So come here. T arrow. Right? So we'll start with the first one. Come here again. TD. You are ability to, when you're writing your code, you are ability to be able to see it. Right? One of the beauty about Ajiro Tech is that I don't just teach you do this, do this. I teach you also how to write the coding. It's not just the drag and drop to do this, so that you can learn it. So when you have issues on people one that has the website authoring, you know how to handle it. Okay. So we have United Arab Emirates. Okay. So we hit on what? Enter. TD. We have 440. Okay. So I'll probably do one more and then I'll copy. So I have TR. Sorry. Okay. So I'll probably have to close this. Then TD. So what's this? We have India. Another one. TD. I have what? 2000. Okay. So I'll probably just copy this for Greece and South Africa. So I'll copy this. Copy. Hit on enter. Paste this. So I'll change this to what? Greece. And then I'll change this to 140. Okay. And these are my students in Ajiro Tech. So if you're United Arab Emirates, India, Greece, South Africa, please let me know. You guys are amazing. Okay. And apologies if I didn't mention your country, you guys are also amazing as well. Okay, you mean so much to Ajiro Tech. Okay. And please just let me know the country you're watching for in the comment section so that I can just give a shout out to you as well. Okay. All right. So I have 420. Okay, so this is it, and T-body has been closed. So I'm going to save this. That's Ctrl S, and then come here to preview this in Edge. So this is what we're going to have at the end of the day. But now take note. I want to explain some things here, right? They said make the Ajiro Tech company Ajiro Tech bold. Okay, so let's make it bold. Okay, so we're going to make it bold, and that simply means that if I'm going to make this bold, I'm going to use an inline style. Okay, so that's style. Um, okay, I can just do this. Just make it easy for you. Come here, and I'll probably just add a bold here. Okay, so bold, right? Bold. Come here, add the bold here. Okay, so I'm going to save this and then come here to preview in our browser. So that's done. Okay, they said make sure the top row of the table is in the header section and the bottom is the footer section. Set the table to fit 70% of the browser window. To fit 70% of the browser window. So right here under the head section, the tables under the body section in the table, I'll have my styles width, and it's going to be what? 70 what percent. So I'm going to save this. Now with preview, I'll just come here to what? Refresh. So this is 70% of the browser window. Now what's the next thing? And the left column to be what? 200 pixels wide. And the left column to be what? 200 pixels wide. So left column to be what? 200 pixels wide. So I'll come here to style, width, and this is going to be what? 200 what? Pixels, right? Because again, what we are doing right here is this 200 pixels wide. I'll come here and I'll refresh this. So this 200 pixels wide. Left corner 200 pixels wide. Set the top row to be 60 pixels high. The top row to be 60 pixels high. Okay, the top row. So right here, I'm going to have my style and I'm going to have my height 60 pixels. Okay, so I've done that. I'm going to save and I'll come here and I'll refresh. So done. What else? Align the table in the center of the browser window. So let's align it. So right here, I'm just going to add my semicolon to separate when we're having more than one of what? The embedded style sheet. And when we're having more than one, we use what? The semicolon to separate the properties and the name. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you see them here because I made mention of it. I said, system of the CSS element is provided. I say if there are more than one property, if more than one property to be applied, then they are separated with a semicolon. I made mention of that. So here I'm going to use semicolon and I'll do my margin left, which is auto. Okay, semicolon, margin right, auto. Okay, so I'm going to save this and I'll come here and I'm going to do that. So now it is centered. Okay, set the content of row 1 and the names of countries to be centered aligned. Okay, all right, so row 1 to be what? Centered aligned. So right here, so I'll come here. This is row 1, right? So I have text align. Okay, so this is going to be center. Okay, save, and I'm going to come here and then refresh. Let me see. So set the content of row 1 and the names of the countries to be center aligned. Okay, so I'll probably do this here. Okay, so come here. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this. So this means that here is going to be what? Text align. Okay, so I'm probably seeing an error here. So, oh, okay, I've seen where the error is coming from. So I've seen it fixed. Okay, so we have this text align. For row 1, I'll do the same thing here. Come here, style equals to width, right? Text align, and I'll make it what? Center. Okay, so this is done. Now they said what? They said and the names of the country to be centered aligned. Names of the country. So names of the country here is going to be style. We're using the embedded CSS with, what am I doing? Sorry, text align is going to be center. Okay, so center here, and I'm just going to copy this really, right? Because of time, I'll copy this, come here, paste this, come here, paste this, come here, paste this, right? And I'm going to what? Save this. So if I come here, I'll refresh. So we have this. Okay, we have this. Okay, they said total visitors and number of visitor and each total to be right aligned. So look at this, total visitor and the number of its visitors and each total to be right aligned. So let's do that. So total visitor here is going to be style text align. Okay, so this is going to be right. It's going to be right. All right, Here as well is going to be right. So literally everything is going to be right. So space style. Okay, so the equals to text align is going to be right. Right, so I can just come here to just copy this. Right, copy this, come here as well, space, paste this, come here, space, paste this, come here, space, paste this, come here, space, paste this, and I'm going to save this. Now if I look at this and I refresh, what do we have here? So you can see that they are what? Right aligned. Now what's the next thing? They said, now look at this, make sure the row is in the header section. Now for us to do this, well, let's add the border. Let's add the border first so that we probably have an understanding. So here I have my table here. Let me add my border. So my border here is going to be what? 1. Now if I come here and I refresh, so this is what I'm having, right? This is what I am having, but it's not the same thing as this. That is because there is what we call what? A border collapse. Now how do we create a single border? We can create a single border, a single table border using what we call border what? Collapse properties. So what we do here is, right here I will come here, since this is embedded CSS, I will come here, probably this is probably going to be at the beginning as well. Maybe it's going to be here, right? So here I can have border collapse, border collapse. What do I have? It's going to what? Collapse, right? Collapse. And then I can add my semicolon here. Okay, I can add my semicolon and then give a space for this, right? So if I come here and I click on this, now it's collapsed, but again we are not done. So we are adding this now. Table borders, take note. Now they said we've learned how to use for the table borders. To set table border to appear as you want them, you can change the border settings as a whole or part of it. You will notice that the border you have created so far has double lines because of the table, and because of the table and the table data part have separate border. That simply means that the other one is what? The external border, and the other one is what? The internal what? Border. So that simply means that even if we're doing this, okay, we're adding this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Even if we have something like this, so let's say we have this border equals to 1, save this, and then we come here and refresh. What are we having? It is now collapsed. It was separate before, but now we have it what? Collapsed. Now both the external and the internal what are now what? Together. They are now what? Collapsed. Now as we proceed in this course, I will be showing you how you can easily make it to be what? Without using the HTML, and I'll probably do that now. Now to set the border outside, this is for to set border width. Table border can be set using the embedded CSS style attribute with the table properties and values. To set the outside border of a table, the style attribute is added to the tables tag. Okay, the assigned value to the tag must be set to borders. Must set the border to solid, then the number of pixels to set the internal grid line styles. So what do we simply mean? This is what we're talking about. So here now I'm going to remove this, and I hope this information is not too much, but here I'll do it here as what? Border. Okay, so here what is the border width, what is the border color, and what is the border style. So here I have what? 1 pixels. Okay, so 1 pixels. We probably don't have, we can probably don't give it, it's usually black anyway, so we'll probably just go with the hash, which is for black, right, which is 6, and then the style is going to be what? Solid. So here this simply means that this is the border, the border size, the border color, and the border what? Width. Again, this is very important. I'm going to use a semicolon to separate it. Now let me do this again so you probably understand, because most people will probably not get this. So let me do it again. So here we have the border width. What is the width of the border? What width are we using that? We're using what? 1 pixels. Now use a space. What is the border color? I'm giving the border color to be what? Black. And for us to get black, that is what? 202020. And I'll tell you about the color code as we proceed in this series. Okay, so I have this, and then this style is going to be what? Solid. And then I'll put my semicolon here to separate them. Okay, now we're having so many um embedded CSS what properties. So I'm going to save this, and I'll come here and I'll click on what? This. So now we have them what? Collapsed. But this should not give us the inside should not be collapsed. So let's see what went wrong. So border collapse. So I have this. Let me see. Look at this, right? You see that we are having only the external, we're not having the internal. Now the reason why that is because look at, to set the internal grid lines, attributes are added in the th and td. So we have to add it here for us to have this. So this simply means that we need to add this here. Okay, so why this is collapsed, we need to add this here. So on our th, so right here we'll probably add a semicolon. So we have our border. Okay, so here you can just put 1 pixel solid, right? And that's fine. So you can change it the way you want. So 1 pixel solid, and I'll save this here. Now if I come here and I refresh, so can you see that now? So we're having them together. So I'll come here and I'll do this here again, right here. So I'll probably do a semicolon here, border. Okay, and then we have 1 pixel solid. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Now right here on the TD as well, I'm going to do this, paste it here. Okay, and now probably a shorter way to do this. There's probably a shorter way to do this, but again, we have to add it here. Now, if you do this in the table row, you probably just go across. Okay, you probably just go across. So I'll come here, paste it here. This is for learning purposes. Paste it here. Use a semicolon to separate it. Semicolon. Paste it here. Come here as well. Semicolon. Paste it here. Semicolon. Paste it here. Semicolon. Paste it here. Semicolon. Paste it here. There's an issue somewhere. So let's see. What's the issue? Let me undo it. Okay, so I will save this work. I think it started again. So let me open tax 5. Tax 5. Let me open the tax 5 again. Open with, yes. So I think that will be fine. Okay, so where were we? So we're here. So I said semicolon, paste it here. So I'm going to close this and then put a colon, and that will solve our issues. So you probably know how to, you need to know how to solve your issues when you're having errors, how to fix it. So we have this. So I'm going to save this. Now, if I come here, it's already open. I'll just refresh. So now we have it. Can we see that? So you can see that at the table, we have collapsed it because again, it's separate between the external and internal, and then we have collapsed it. Table border settings in CSS are different from the border attributes for the table, which is only used to show if borders are visible or invisible. Again, the table border settings in CSS are different from the border attributes for the table, which is only used to show if they are visible or not. So again, we use the border. We have the border width, the border color, and then the border style. So this is very important. Yes, we're going to stop here for the episode 2, and in our next video we'll look at the episode 3. So I'm just going to put this here. Done. Right. Episode 2. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.